Boom, welcome back, everybody. Another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat. I'm your host with the most. I don't think I can use that title anymore. I think Two Stances done claimed that for good. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We took the week off last week. We made a last-minute decision to take off and head down to Tennessee for the weekend, and so I had to frantically get things ready to rock and roll. This weekend was Jackie's birthday. Actually, yesterday was Jackie's birthday, and we took off from Ohio here and went down to Watts Bar, and we spent the weekend with James and Jody, which was fantastic. I got to be honest with you. The hospitality they showed for us was phenomenal. We showed up down there. They had food ready for us, which if you want to hook me quick, food's the fastest way to do it. So James opened up his house to us and set us up. Man, we had a lot of fun. The fishing wasn't the greatest, but you'll have that no matter where you go or what you do. The fish were pretty stingy. We were hoping to pull out a win with the monster hunt going on this last weekend, and went to my what's near and dear to my heart, which is Nickajack Dam. That's where I got my PB and where we pulled a lot of big fish out of. So we went there in high hopes of latching on to a big fish, but just didn't happen. We did get to bump, which was actually what her birthday wish was. Her birthday wish was she wanted to go bumping. We got to do that a little bit by heading down there and got to bump for a little while. But I know now that if I really want to get her bumping, I need to head just to the Mississippi River and just bump all day, every day. There's no lack of flow most places there. So next time, I think we'll head off that way there. Trying something a little bit different tonight. Some of you guys see me looking off to the side. Some of you guys see me looking here and trying to keep up with doing simultaneous live casting and see how that works out. So we're live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We are live everywhere. Let's see if we can keep up with it. We did some live fishing over the weekend. Live fishing, not catching. So real quick, just say hello to some folks that are joining in on both ends over here. I seen Stonefly 71, Merlot and families in the house. They were early as I tried to set things up this morning. I guess I wasn't awake. I set it up for 8 a.m. instead of p.m. So big shout out to the folks that shot me a message right away and say, "Hey brother, you're 12 hours ahead." So Benoit Fishing's in the house. Paul Edmiston, what's going on? Ed Jenkins is in the house. What's happening? Steve Ransom, thanks for stopping in. You throw something in chat there, and I'll try to catch you. Try to catch you on both ends. See, Bobcat's in the house. Even Bobcat struggled down there to put a big fish in a boat. For Shizzle's here as well. Catch fish with us. What's going on? Thank you guys for stopping in. Appreciate you. Channel members on top of that. Mr. Greg Burgess is in the house. Crappie Dave Darren, Smoky Mountain Catfishing, Rogersville, Tennessee. It just has a ring to it when you put Rogersville just in anything. So, so thanks for stopping in. Don Knight's here with us as well, and so appreciate you guys all for stopping in. Mike Greenwell, there you go. Hey, look, it's not 7 a.m. That's right, brother. Mikey was one of the folks that reached out to me real quick and said, "Hey, man, I think you messed up," which I did. But what we're going to talk about tonight a little bit, and it's open discussion. So those of you that pop it in, hey, Danny Stone, what's going on, brother? Over on the YouTube side, I've got the link posted up in chat. So this is pretty much an open discussion. I'm subject to hear opinions and thoughts on both sides of this topic tonight. I did talk a little bit today with Mr. Ted Ellenbecker. We kind of shared opinions and thoughts on and feelings on the subject, but as we've seen the evolution of LiveScope into the catfishing world and community, last week they announced that they banned the use of LiveScope in a lot of the major bass fishing tournament circuits. And I would never use a LiveScope that's cheating, says Fishizzle. Yeah, actually, Brandon Fishizzle there, he's one of the ones that kind of sold me on the idea that LiveScope could be used much more than just for bait fishing. I feel that a LiveScope would help us in our quest for bait as well. on the Ohio. Zach has got the Humminbird Mega Live system set up on his boat, and we're still playing and learning, trying to figure out how to use it accurately. But in the right conditions, that live scope can be used to find and target large fish, such as catfish and any other species as well, in the right hands. It ain't worth the crap for bumping, so don't care. Laugh out loud. There you go. And I'll just share my two cents on it. Like I said, the link is up top there if anybody wants to chime in and jump in on the conversation. You're more than welcome to tonight. We got some other stuff to go over as well. We got a big local tournament coming up this weekend, helping Tommy Long, Mr. Minnow Dunkers, who's normally in here and chat with us. He's got a big event going on this weekend, actually 2 events. He's got a kids tournament and a catfishing tournament. We are going to be participating in the kids tournament. I don't think the kids will make it clear through to the end to get to the night tournament, because the night tournament goes from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. I don't think we can stretch them out that long. What's going on, Curtis? Thanks for stopping in, brother. So here's my 2 cents on the live scope thing. It basically comes down to the evolution. All right. Live scope is just an evolution of our electronics, of our capabilities, just the same as it was when we went from flasher graphs to sonar, 2D sonar. We eventually went to down imaging. We eventually got side imaging. And now here we are with live imaging. I really don't see where this evolution causes that huge of a difference. Back when they first come out with the 2D sonar over flashers, we had the same type of flare up. People saying that's not fair. We can't, you guys have an unrealistic advantage. And let's face it, no matter where you go, that situation is going to be still the same. I have a Dillon tournament Saturday night. Yeah, Matt, sorry about that, brother. Hey, there's Jeremy Creel. What's up, brother? So in my opinion, it comes down to, if you can afford the live scope and all the fancy electronics and gear, does that put you at a much greater advantage over everyone else? It can. But you got to remember that those electronics only show you what you found by instinct and by data and by your own personal experiences and knowledge. Those gadgets and those graphs, they do not make fish show up for you. They confirm your initial thought of, hey, I think the fish should be hanging out here or there. But you have to have the skill and ability to get where the fish are before you could turn on those electronics and verify that your thoughts were correct. So, Greg's, be safe down there. Yeah, I heard we got some crazy weather going on. So when it comes down to, whoever's got the most money, who could buy the fanciest electronics and gadgets, they have the unrealistic advantage over others. And at times that's going to be true. One of the situations I think about was last weekend. We had Rising Sun tournament out of Indiana, a huge tournament, 200 boats. Yeah, Paul, there you go. Live scope doesn't make them bite either. You can find them. I don't know how many of you guys use. I mean, I don't have live scope yet, but I don't know how many times we've been fishing just this weekend. I found piles of fish, catfish, that I knew there were fish, and they were there. And we tried every bait, we tried techniques, and we could not get them to bite. So just because live scope allows you to see every single fish that's not biting, there you go, Jeremy. Yeah, it actually could probably hurt your feelings more than anything. That's kind of the situation we ran into. More often than not, you'll find fish and they're not going to bite for you. What I feel live scope has really done is showed us some characteristics and fish behavior that we weren't privy to prior. Things that fish behavior, how they react to certain baits. We've seen now that, fish will come right up to your bait and bump it and just sit there and stare at it. I mean, they may hover right on your bait for who knows how long, and that something will either trigger them to go ahead and take that bait or turn and go away. And you'll see lots of different videos and scenarios where guys are talking about how they tried to trigger a bite, but it just scared the fish away. And so how those things reenacting in nature. So like if you're suspend drifting, and you're on a real choppy water and your boat's constantly going like this, your bait's down there going like this. Well, that's not a natural movement for bait or for fish or anything else in the water column. So that type of movement is alarming fish and scaring them away, as opposed to bringing them in and allowing them to bite. I believe live scope can be an incredible educational tool to study fish. Yeah, that's exactly right. The fish behavior, teaching us more about what they do and how they do it, as opposed to catching the fish. Now, I know for like crappie and bass, it's the same. One of the things that always pop up in my mind is a story where a guy was crappie fishing with live scope. He pulled in on a brush pile. He caught a couple fish, and within the first couple fish, the fish were gone out of the brush pile, completely gone. And it was a hot, sunny day, and the fish left the brush pile and retreated to the shade of his boat. They went right underneath of him, and he started catching the fish under his own boat. And that's not something that we would have thought or would have guessed fish would do, the type of behavior we would expect. Previous days, having this live imagery to tell us that, hey, these fish will abandon ship to seek shade and refuge under, in the heat of the day or the bright sun or whatever that is. But it's just another tool, in my opinion, that helps us be. There we go. Tommy Long's in the house. I was wondering if he's going to make it. I got some stuff set aside. We're going to go over here in just a second. I don't care either way about live scope, but the big excuse, it don't make them bite, is a cop out. What about all the fish you put it in their face that do bite? Yeah, you're right. When you could put it within an inch of their nose. So, we all know that, catfish have a detection zone, and then they have what is called a strike zone. And that goes for every fish, really. But, the fish may be aware of another bait or another fish presence within range of it. But depending on scenarios, depending on time of year, time of day, fish activity, whatever, their bite window gets bigger and smaller. But if you have a live scope and you could put it right on their face, then you have now shrunk that clear down to where you've zeroed in on where the strike zone is now, because you're in the zone now. Whether they take it or not, that's entirely a big difference. But you're right. We are zeroing down on the strike zone. If you really want to catch fish, it is best to do it from the bank, like Danny and Parker. Hey, those guys, you got to give it to them, man. Jerry Parker is a beast. Pulled out a 79-pounder. Hey, Matt Carden, what's up, buddy? 79-pounder on a Saturday night. That one's going to be. I knew his 62-pounder probably wouldn't make it to the end of the season for big fish on the online fishing tournament league, but 79 pounds has got a good shot. 79 pounds has got a good shot at it, so we'll see how that sticks out. Wake up, Jody. Hey, Jody. Man, Jody had a rough night the other night. The battery went dead on her boat. Then the alternator went out on her car, and now she's not feeling well. So I hate to hear that. We had a good time with Jody. Jody made Jackie a birthday cake and sang her happy birthday on the boat Friday night. If you guys missed the live on Friday night, we were out there fishing with James and Jody on the Hughes craft, and that was a bad idea. See, because normally, you look for a woman that kind of reel you in and keep you grounded. And, I got on the Hughes craft and I was like, oh my God, I got to get one of these boats. I always thought I'd want one. But then I got on one and I'm like, yeah, we definitely got to get one, and I was kind of counting on Jackie to be like, no, that's not something that's really feasible. You can't really afford it. No, she's like, sell everything. We got to get one of these. So she seen the bed and that was it. She's like, wait, we can lay down and take a nap on here. And so again, thanks to James and Jody for the hospitality and hanging out with us and fishing with us this weekend. And let's see, I missed that one. I say if they want to spend money on it, then let them use it. That being said, I know 3 guys that have it and don't like using it that much. Yeah. Yeah, and we've said that a million times. You know, you're only as good. You can have all the expensive gadgets and stuff in the world, but if you don't know how to use it and read it properly, it's completely useless. And like I said just a moment ago, if you don't know where to go target the fish or look for the fish to begin with, reading the structure, reading, you know, barometric pressure, reading the weather, reading the flow maps and all that kind of stuff. If you don't take the time to get that stuff down and figure it out first, you're going to be riding around circles. Your live scope is not going to help you at all. No scope's going to help you at all. You've got to be able to have the ability to predict. You know, I tell people that you know, catfishing is a lot like a chess match. You know, you take different scenarios and you try to predict what the fish are going to be doing next, and you set up and get ahead of them, and you try to predict their next move. Got to get cozy with the bob kitty. There you go. You can sleep on my boat. You just got to really like each other. Yeah, no kidding. Let's see here. Jeremy, coming to fish with you. Yeah, everybody, we all need to get together and get fishing with Jeremy. I say we just convoy down to Louisiana. And I think Jeremy, he's got enough room for us. We got tents and stuff. We don't care. So anyway, Jody, hope you get to feeling better. I'm coming when it's can. I missed that one. All right. Well, I don't know if Tommy's fishing tonight. Tommy's usually a very busy fellow. And with that being said, he may or may not have time to. Let's go. Here we go. So coming up this weekend, September 14th, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's at Lake Rupert. This is a $25 per person event. They're also got raffles, and I'll show you some of the stuff they've got there lined up for the raffles. They got 50-50 drawing, rod and reel, catfish gear that they're all raffling off. And they even have a guided trip, Sandusky Bay, coming up that you'll just be responsible for getting to the bay. And then after that, everything else is taken care of. So we'll get to that in just a second. This support the Jackson County 40/8 Veterans Food Box giveaway. I had to ask him. I was like, I wasn't sure what that 40-8 was. And that goes clear back to the World War days when they would take the carts would take either 40 soldiers or 8 horses up to the line. So that's been going on for a long time. Bank and boat fishing, both are permitted. And this support the Jackson County Veterans Food Box giveaway at the Wellston American Legion 371. They also have a kids tournament same day at noon that day with prizes for each age group. And there you go. Tommy's in chat there saying they are paying out 100% of the entries. So 100% of the entries is going to go right back to the winners, depending on, I'm sure it depends on how many boats they get and how many places they'll pay. But a ton of stuff also being given away here. There's a bunch of stuff here from, looks like Mike's tackle or Mike's bait and tackle down there in Wellston as well. The fishing trip was going to be given away up at Sandusky Bay by Don Hoffman. Here's a flyer for that there. Don Hoffman is an outstanding angler, travels the entire country, has a beautiful ProCat 200. It's the exact same boat almost that Zach won at the Sea Arc tournament this last year. What they're doing for that chance there is $20 for a card, 52 chances. 52 chances there to get in on that. And all money raised will go for the Christmas food box giveaway distributed at Wellston American Legion Post 370. Last year, they did 150 boxes were handed out. And this year, the goal was 200 boxes to help these guys out. There was also some folks that all pitched in together there and came up with a $250 gift card to Mike's Bait and Tackle down there. So a lot of cool stuff going on this weekend. If you're in the area, there we go. We are over $2,000 in fundraising for this event. So he's doing a good thing down there. Tommy's always got his hands in something. He's been working with the kids and 250 last year. This year, 300. Did I read that wrong? We got it. So I'll definitely be down there this weekend and check him out. If you guys are local to the area or you need more information, you can contact me and I can get the information over to you. Or right here, Tommy's contact information is bottom of the screen. You can contact Tommy if you have any questions or ideas. Oh, the food boxes, 250 food boxes last year. This year, goal's 300. I got you. There he is, Jerry Parker. We said his name 3 times and he showed up. We was talking about Jerry's big fish over this last weekend. I believe it was 78 or 79 pounds from the bank on the Mississippi. I get a bigger sense of accomplishment fishing like a caveman. That being said, I don't care what folks do or don't use. To me, fishing is supposed to make you happy, so don't worry, be happy. There you go, Danny. Absolutely. I would love to see the days of old where, it was just old school talent or old school abilities versus, modern day electronics and money. With that being said, it's not going to go away. Who knows what the next big thing is going to be when it comes to the evolution of electronics and sonar and fishing. Anyone's on the hire in need of an IBC bait tank? Yes, Jim Buckeye, catfishing. We actually need one here. I've got one at the house, but we're trying to set one up at my buddy's house down the road here. So if somebody else doesn't need it worse than me, I'll get a hold of you. My local Lake Rupert Trevor got a 25-pound flathead and a 10-pound channel there Sunday. There you go. Jackie would be tickled to death with a 25-pound flathead. Her big fish for flathead's only like 4 pounds. So I'm getting my butt kicked every time I say that because I'm the one responsible for putting her on big fish. I'm just not doing a very good job. I'm so sad last time did not work out. Okay. We're talking about meeting up. I'm going to whoop Creel so bad at the end of the month that Laura going to whoop him from losing to me. Oh, man. Uh-oh. So there you go. Danny, I agree. Couldn't fathom spending money on a TV screen for a boat. We are old souls. Can't help it. That's how we both were taught and enjoy fishing without the fancy tech stuff. Yeah. And that's at the end of the day, fishing is supposed to be fun. Put the F back in fishing. After Monsters on the Ohio, it's yours. I've had fish in it all summer. All right. I got you. The kids are at noon. Lake Alma, meet at the Birch Bottom Shelter House. Okay. We got you there, buddy. Yeah. Whatever makes fishing fun to you. So for us, we enjoy, I got to be honest, when me and Zach get out on the boat, we enjoy scouting and looking around. We take a lot of time scanning and looking for structure, looking for things that we didn't see before. And then we come up with a game plan. A lot of times we'll come up with 3 things. We'll say, all right, well, based on what we've seen, let's try this. And if that don't work, we'll try this and we'll try this. And then we'll reevaluate. And if those first 3 things initially doesn't work, then we go back to the drawing board and we start scanning and coming up with new things. If one of those things seem to stick, then obviously we hone in on that just a little bit and try to fine tune it. How many entries are you expecting, Tommy? I know he said he was up to already 25 entries, I believe, for the catfish tournament. I don't know about the kids tournament. 24 teams pre-registered for the boat and bank. There you go. I know that LiveScope has completely changed the game for catching bait. That's the main reason I'd like to have it. Yeah, Jeremy, there's a lot of people that have really had a lot of great testimonials about the ability to catch bait. And if you're like most of us, fresh bait is a must. We don't take, we almost rarely on the river take any bait with us. We have to catch it that morning before we go fishing, or we don't get to go fishing. And that's how important the fresh bait is to us. If it takes us all day to catch bait, we just don't get to fish for very long. But a live scope, could help definitely cut the time down, ideally, on how long it takes us to get bait and get to fishing. Oh, all right. So Tommy says the kids tournament is competing with the football on the peewee level. We'll be there, buddy. We'll see if we can't recruit a couple more kids. You guys should do an old school versus new school tournament. That's actually a pretty good idea, Joshua. It's been probably 2 years now, but I actually did a live fishing tournament through YouTube that was called So You Think You Can Fish. And it was you had to fish new water that you've never fished before, and you could not use any electronics except for Navionics. You could use Navionics app only because I did not want people tearing up their boats or putting themselves in danger by running shallow or running into something. But yeah, we did that tournament. I stretched it out over 3 months because I was thinking it doesn't really showcase anybody's skill if somebody gets lucky one day. So I wanted to stretch it out and make people really prove what they can do. Bait equals crappie, great for life skill. There you go, catch fish with us. Stan 3, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. So yeah, we love the crappie fish as well. The crappie around here have apparently moved up shallow because I tried to catch bait before I went to down to Watts Bar with James and Jody, because they said, hey, bait is really, really tough. And I said, all right, well, at least maybe get some ice. I mean, get some ice. I seen ice flash. I'll at least get some shad. And I went through the cast net, and all I caught was crappie, just crappie everywhere. So they were shallow water. That's epic what our OG finders were. There you go. Ice flashers. Yeah. And Tommy, that's kind of what I talk about with tonight's show, talking about, a lot of people being upset over the use of live scope is, back in the day, a flasher was the technology that all that we could use. And then when they came out with 2D imagery, or, the black and white with the fish symbol on the old eagles or whatever, some of the early hummingbirds and fish finders were, at that time, that was, you were the devil, because that was illegal. That was far beyond what we were able to do before. And then all of a sudden, we can do down imaging, and then we could do side imaging. I don't know about anybody else, but side imaging is our bread and butter. If I had to take away everything else, I would use side imaging only. That's how much I depend on side imaging. But now we have live imaging, and I think it's just a matter of time before it evolves on something else. And I think this is just part of that process. Do I think that with sides or with the live scope, do you guys have an advantage? Yeah, of course you do have an advantage. Is it enough of an advantage to win or lose every tournament? No, I don't think so. You've got to have that old school ability to find the fish, locate the fish, and then zero in on the fish once you've figured them out. I have oh my gosh, Curtis Cunningham, I have a working Zircon liquid crystal graph on my boat. I'd like to know how old that thing is. Side scan was a real thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tommy. When they first come out, Catchfish with Us says this, I'm guessing the crappie are still deep on Hoover. Hammer them trolling flicker shad. Huh. I'd like to get into some crappie. I need some fishies to eat. Yeah, I would love to see a little bit about that, Curtis, and see how that thing works. That's pretty cool. She says Tommy. Yeah, the kids are excited to fish this weekend. I told them they can catch whatever they want. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Matthew, what's going on, buddy? It's funny you just pop up because you just showed up in the memories from a year or two ago that we were out on Hoover, and after we just talked the other day on TikTok, and then boom, it's like it's meant to be. All of a sudden, here you are. Yeah, we definitely have to get together and get back out on the water. There aren't very many weekends I have available that doesn't already either have an online fishing tournament or a live fishing tournament down on the Ohio River. I believe actually one of the only weekends that I have free is coming up, because so it came with my whaler. That's a 1995, and I'm a sucker for nostalgia. There you go, man. I can't see side imaging. Done again, Clug Parker. Say there's a fish. I say where? Right there. Where? It does take time to train your eye to understand what a fish is. You know what I mean? For most graphs, it's just a grain of sand. If you get a good shadow on one, then you can, scroll over top of it or zoom in on it. And the shadow actually gives you way more detail than the actual mark does. The mark, normally just shows up as a bright line, but behind it, the shadow, you got to think about side scan is basically like rolling down there with two flashlights sticking out each side of the boat. And, if there's a hump, you're going to get a shadow behind it. If there's a dip, you're going to get a shadow down in there. If there's a fish or a tree, you're going to get a shadow behind it. It's more like a beam of light than anything else when it comes to how it looks on your graph. You should also take a portable live scope on a John boat and still compete with big boats. There you go. Stand 3. Stand 3 has been like one of my prime examples of somebody who doesn't have to have the biggest, most expensive gear to be competitive. Stand 3 had, I know you guys have upgraded, but back in the day, you guys were using the $99 electronics that you knew exactly what you were looking at. You could use it and read it, and you got all the information that anybody else could get out of their graphs with your graph because you knew how to read it so well. And so you don't have to have the biggest, baddest, most expensive equipment out there. You could still be competitive. Do I think it helps to have all that stuff? If you know how to use it properly, absolutely. But let's face it, myself included, I've got electronics on my boat now that I still don't know 100% how to use fully. There's always things I could learn on my electronics that I have now, and I've been using them for years. And now, after Garmin all this time, I think I'm going to go to Humminbird. The side scan is just incredible, and like I said earlier, that's my bread and butter. And it's undeniable how well the Humminbird side scan is. And so, given the opportunity, I'm going to bite the bullet and jump to Humminbird when the time's right. So you have me on a boat chasing shadows, and they call me goofy. That's right, buddy. That's it. As far as the tournament seers go, if you're out fun fishing and you're using live scope to crappie fish and all that stuff, guys, talk about how it's unfair that they could move it. As far as I'm concerned, a creel limit and a size limit is the same no matter what. It does. If your creel limit's 30 fish a day, it shouldn't matter if it takes me 10 hours to catch 30 or 2 hours to catch 30. I'm still only allowed 30. So, I mean, it's kind of like rod limit, in my opinion. What makes a difference if I use 2 rods or 10 rods? I'm only allowed to keep what I'm allowed to keep. The only time that scenario, I think, comes into a factor when you have areas in the country that had limited bank access, and you've got a guy putting 20 rods down the bank, and now somebody else can't enjoy time with their family and whatnot. But outside of those oddities, I don't see where rod limits really should be that important if creel limits and size limits are being enforced. It definitely helps if you know what you're doing, but if you can't figure out side scan or 2D, don't waste your money. Yeah, absolutely. If know your limits. Ed, I feel so bad for you, man. You just now learn how to lay a track down. If you got a GPS enabled trolling motor and you have spot lock capability, you do have track functions. And in my opinion, laying a track, especially on windy days, and be able to run your track is probably hands down one of the most effective tools on your trolling motor besides spot lock. If I had to rate why it's important to have GPS, it would be spot lock and then a track. Other than catching bait, I spend more time watching live scope while dragging baits than fishing with it. Well, see, Paul, I think you're on the same wavelength as me when I'm really intrigued by fish behavior and seeing how fish react. Back before I had all the health issues I have, I used to deer hunt a lot. I mean, a lot, way more than I catfish, honestly. And some of my favorite hunts and best times I've ever had in the woods. I never harvested an animal whatsoever, but I got to watch some crazy activity and learn some things that just blew my mind. And I feel the same thing happens here with LiveScope on fish. We're learning things about fish that we didn't know before, seeing reactions and things. I've seen a video not too long ago where the trolling motor spooked fish like 15 to 20 feet. Or noise from the boat spooked a fish at 20 to 30 feet. And you would think, there ain't no way. It did. Now, does it always happen? Probably not. But there's things we learn throughout time with these, all these. They got cameras underwater, right? Before long, they will have cameras that are live, showing you what the size of the fish is and what kind of fish it is, most likely. I mean, you think about how fast we grow as far as technology goes, it's mind-boggling. Just go back to however old you are, go back to when you were a kid and go to now. And that's, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years. And just imagine how much more things will change in the next 50 years. It's insane. John Boy, welcome in. Catfishing or burrito catfishing lady. What's up, Lisa? How you doing? I know I missed a few other people coming in. Lance McCoo guys in the house. Thank you guys for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. I've been a little long-winded today. I got 30 miles of bank, more actually just like blow ball and number. If you're throwing across one of my rods, we got a problem. There you go. Spot locks is next big investment. Yeah, Parker, I'm telling you, man, getting a GPS capable trolling motor. I'm a fan of Minn Kota, Terova, in my opinion, and just my opinion based on my circuit of friends and guys I know and watch and follow. And the Terova is like the workhorse of trolling motors. Now, I don't have much experience with any other ones other than reading on them and watching videos and hearsay, but the Terova, hands down, has been a tank of a trolling motor for all me, Zach, and Skip. All three have the exact same trolling motor because we've all had something different, and this is what we've all ended up deciding on because we've seen how the other ones react. Skip actually had the Altera for a year or two, and we had nothing but problems. I think 3 to 4 times we had to take it off and take it back into a certified technician to have it fixed because of the stow and deploy. Now, have they fixed all that after all these years of, people complaining about them? Probably. I know that they sent out some major upgraded parts to replace when things were messed up on the ones we had. So they may be better now, but myself, I couldn't invest that kind of money into it, knowing that I can get a Terova and it's a tank. If you're close to Benton County, come out and enjoy some fishing with us. Kids at Lake Alma, Catfish Tournament, Lake Rupert. There you go. This is what Tommy's talking about here this weekend. We'll be down there. Tommy will be down there along with several others, trying to support the local event down there and have some fun. And it's always fun to get together and meet with some folks and shake hands and have a good time. We've got a couple other events coming up. We got a Catfish Shindig coming up, which is basically just another meet and greet that we're putting together down around the Cincinnati area. Let's see. Oops. Let's see if I can get back over to here. And then we got this here coming up. We got the Catfishing for Kids Halloween tournament. This is going to be on Sunday, October 20th. Now, I know that that's a strange date. We don't normally do a Sunday tournament. But with all the things that are going on in the community, I tried to make it to where everyone could still participate in other events, not have to pick and choose. This date, there wasn't anything lined up. So let me get these off here real quick. So we went ahead and picked that date there for the kids event. Again, looking forward to having a lot of fun. You guys have seen all the kids events we've had in the past. The Halloween one is by far my favorite. The kids dress up. Again, the adults dress up. We add points to the total score for participation, and it's all for fun. And we get a lot of laughs out of it and have a good time. So we're taking names and entries for that now. if anybody's interested in signing the kids up for that, please get with me or Jackie, and we'll get you guys signed up on the list. We're going to do everything on the 20th. I really love how the Online Fishing League has really kind of set the bar on doing everyone fishing on the same day. So we may have to have multiple channels, and I'm sure if I try hard enough, I can find some other folks that are willing to help host a kids tournament. So if you guys are interested in that, please get a hold of Jackie or I, and we'll get you down on the list. Yeah, you don't want to see that. That's too big. We spend so much time watching everything around us in nature, enjoying everything. I couldn't imagine chasing a screen all the time. Yeah, absolutely. One of the coolest things that happened this weekend wasn't even a fish. It was a huge splash right next to my boat, and I looked over, and a bald eagle had dove and caught a fish 20, 25 feet from my boat. I mean, had zero fear of us whatsoever. And, just watching nature and enjoying things. But me watching the fish, watching the graph and watching fish behavior is interesting to me. But that's the great thing about this. It's a great thing about our country. We don't have to agree on everything. Doesn't mean we can't like each other. Yeah, we don't have to agree with how everybody does things or how anybody else's opinions are. We can all have difference of opinion and have different feelings about things. And at the end of the day, we can still be family and love and support each other. I have so many raffles, pull tabs, 50-50 door prizes. Yeah, Tommy has really put a lot of effort into putting this thing together. He's got some big help out there. So he owes Mike Williams, Mike's Bait and Tackle, for helping with the fundraising. So let's see. Try not to miss anything here. I wish all my boat brothers and sisters had spot locks simply for the safety factor. Don't want to see y'all get hurt. Anchoring can be dangerous. Yeah, Danny, there is a lot to be said for that. As far as the high flow of the Mississippi, not all trolling motors are going to handle that flow in all situations. Unfortunately, sometimes a rope anchor is the safest way to go, or the only way to go. Honestly, my opinion. If it's going too fast to spot lock, you should be bumping. Hey, Helena, how you doing? Welcome in. Nubby's Catfishing, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you guys being here. We love Halloween. Wait, where'd it go? It's our thing besides fishing. There you go. We're same here. We're already all decorated up outside. The kids have had fun with it. We haven't even got everything out yet, but the outside, we got the spookiest house on the street so far. It's an idle only lake. You can run 9.9 and under faster. Okay, that's good to know, man. I actually meant to ask you about that because I have a 9.9 and I have my big motor. But so it's idle only on big motor, 9.9. You can run what you brung. There you go. Small water charters. Did they come in the house? So I didn't see him. Stan 3 asked, what do you think about live scope? Oh, there you are. Small water charters. Hey, what's your 2 cents on live scope, bud? I've kind of touched on how I felt about it. I didn't see anybody jump in the basement, so nobody wanted to put their neck out there. Halloween is my birthday. Oh, there you go. That sounds fun. So 6 foot tracker wouldn't probably be best. Know nothing about that lake. I'd say a 16-foot tracker would be great. If it's a idle only lake or a 9.9 lake, I don't see where a 16-foot. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Tommy. There you go. Do I want opinions on live scope? Yeah, you guys are more welcome. I pinned the link up in the top of the chat. Because I'm always open for, this is just my 2 cents. I try to say that on these shows and episodes that, when I share information, share techniques and things like that, that what I say is not foolproof. I take a lot of information from lots of other folks that I've learned from and share it, pass it down the line, and take a lot of experiences that we have had for ourselves on the water and pass it down the line. but believe me, I'm not right about. I'm probably not right about most of it, to be honest. But I think that it's great to be able to share our opinions and thoughts on things, and to be able to openly discuss and talk about different topics, and not get all fired up about it, and be cool, be adults. Our shallow waters, not a lot of us use it for. Just look yourself. There you go. Yes, real shallow water. It's just forward facing. Now we do like looking for bait and things like that. I watched a lot of videos where guys are, forward facing in like 5 foot or less of water, looking for shad. And it does seem to be helpful for that. But in my opinion, I can't remember how far out the range is, but you can only throw a cast net so far. So if you're coming in with a trolling motor in under 5 foot of water, there's a good chance you're spooking them farther than you can throw your cast net. Now, one of the techniques we like to use is use the wind to push us and kind of come in naturally. But still, that's different for everyone. I look at our friends Scott and Roland Martin. They both great bass fishermen. One watches the screen and one watches the water. It all works. Yeah, absolutely. You have to have. I think you have to have a good balance of both. I think you have to have the ability to read the water, read conditions, understand fish behavior, fish movement, plankton. Plankton's a big part of the equation. You have to be able to know all of those things before you can turn your graph on and verify that there are fish there. And then once you have that down, and now you have the electronics that can verify, hey, yeah, there are a pile of fish right here. Get on them. Then I feel like, that's the perfect storm when you're able to do both of those. So in my opinion, like when we had Ray Ferguson on, I think Ray Ferguson is a great example. Ray really believes in his electronics, but you can take his electronics away and he's still a great angler because he still knows the fundamentals of fishing and where to go, where to be. He fishes with Donnie and Lonnie Fountain, and he says those guys are more old school tactics, and look how successful they are. I know that he's got them looking at that graph more than they used to, but at the end of the day, they're still just great anglers that know how to predict and play that perfect game of chess against fish. And that's one of the reasons they're so successful. Leave the scales open all evening. There you go. Still have to know when and where to go get certain spot. Yeah, absolutely, bud. I don't see it as a full game changer, but it is nice to use to adjust those little things for perfect presentation. Absolutely. Absolutely. I if I could afford it, I would have it. And one day maybe I will. But to say that it's the game changer and it should be banned and outlawed and you're the devil if you're using live scope, I think it's a little extreme. I think that, just like any other thing. But like I said, I talked to Ed earlier, and we talked about, different, just like boxing or different, you have different weight classes, different levels. Even in sports, you have different leagues. You got, kids sports, or even major league sports, you got your different, conferences and different leagues and stuff that go up against each other. Is that something that should be considered in fishing? I don't know. I don't think, especially catfishing, I don't think it's been that big to be able to break it down into categories. And I don't know how you would really categorize folks other than whether you're using live scope electronics or not, or live imaging. I just say live scope because that's what everyone knows it as. But there are, Lowrance has their version, Garmin has their version, Humminbird has their version. But live imagery is just all we're talking about in general. Maybe a Rocky Fork meet and greet. There you go. They have an amazing live scope and they use it a lot. There you go. You talk about Donnie and Lonnie. I know that in the beginning, Ray said that they didn't really care for it as much, but I think Ray has over time convinced them and proven to them that there is something to be said about the electronics and how you could fine tune. There you go. Donnie and Lonnie have amazing fish finder and they use it a lot. I don't remember what graph they run. I think they're all running the same now, which is the Garmin 8600 series, which is the high-end Garmin's. I think they're all using the same so that when they jump from boat to boat or they use different things, everything's the same. They know exactly what they're doing. And that's actually one of the reasons why I would love to go to Humminbird now, because when I go back and forth with Zach, oh, we got an Apex 19. Okay, so they're running Humminbird. Wow. That is a big one. Zach's got a Helix 15, and that thing's a tank. I don't even know about an Apex 19. That's so if you don't have Garmin, go get Charmin for tears. If you don't have Garmin, get Charmin. Yeah. Yeah. So far, it seems like that Garmin does have the edge when it comes to the live imaging capabilities. But I'm sure that's all going to change. It's all just a matter of time. The technology is out there. It's just a matter of time for everyone else. Right now, Garmin got ahead of everyone, and I'm sure somebody's going to leapfrog over them in years to come. Oh, it's not a live scope, but have a fish finder. Okay, I got you. 3 fish total weight. I'm paying out at least 3 spots, maybe more. 100% payout of the entries. There you go. Man, you're getting me really wanting to try to fish this night tournament now. You're going to make me drive separate. Jackie, take the kids home. I hope she didn't hear that. It's crazy seeing the images, very obvious, big and small fish. Yeah. When you get to those bigger screens, it is amazing, the detail. It's all about pixels per square inch. So if you think about our televisions, or like even when you're watching YouTube now, you have the 360 graph, then you went to 720, then you went to 1080, then you went to 1080i, 1080p, 4K, 8K. It's never going to stop, right? Until the pixels per square inch get so much smaller and so more detailed. And that's what's happening with these graphs. You really have to do some research. I'm not familiar with Humminbird, exactly how the break is down, because I've been Garmin all this time. But I could tell you that in Garmin, to go from a 9-inch screen to a 10-inch screen is mind-blowing. It actually doubles the pixels per square inch. So the screen clarity is twice as good from a 9 to a 10. But from a 10 to a 12, it actually goes down just a hair, because you still have the same pixels, but the inches is bigger, so you have less per square inch, if that makes sense. So I've got a gnat in here. It's driving me crazy. So, if you went from a 9 to a 10 on a Garmin, your picture clarity just goes up huge. And I don't remember what the number is off the top of my head, but with other scenarios with the Humminbird or Lowrance, I'm not sure what that looks like when it goes from a 9 to a 10 to a 12 to a 19. 19's got to be, the bigger it is, the more you can see. There's all there is to it. We're not getting younger. My eyes aren't getting any better. But we've seen situations where we're on the may have a Willie Smith, Don Hoffman, Bink Fox sighting. Whew, that's some big names. Big names. I like fishing with them. I don't think I can beat any of them or compete against them, but I'd have fun trying. So let's see. These Bass Pro guys around here have better screens than I do in my house. Yeah, absolutely. There was some talk about a budget limit. What the budget limit could be on electronics on a boat. So like, I don't know, maybe it's 10 grand, maybe it's 5. I don't know what it looks like, but I was hearing something about them talking about how much budget somebody could have on their boat. Like somebody can't have $20,000 worth of electronics against somebody with $5,000 worth of electronics or something like that. I don't have anything to worry about because I'll never be in either one of those categories. I'm a dirty old catfisherman that just gets by with what I can get. Let's see. So I'm trying to think if I left anything else out, guys. I appreciate everyone coming in tonight and hanging out with us. The topic, kind of moseyed right along as I thought it would. I really kind of thought there would be more people that had stronger opinions against the live scope compared to what you see online. It seems like overall, most people are kind of in the same boat. Like, if you can afford it, good for you. You know, it's still not going to make you the best angler on the water. You still have to have a certain skill set in order to find and locate fish. Ray Ferguson walked up to me at Sandusky Bay Cabela's and told me, "I'm glad you locally cleaned house up here." I shook his hand and said, "I live 4 hours south." There you go. Yeah, if I remember, Tommy, you guys were like, I thought it was like real close. You guys were like 0.2 pound, 0.3 pounds, something like that away from $3,000. You got real close to taking second place. I read that they put a limit of 55 inches of screen total on a boat. That might have been it. That might have been it. Total inches of screen, maybe not money. It would be hard to justify how much money something's worth and depreciation value and all that crap. But total inches of screen, that's easy to measure. Yep, I think you're right, Paul. 3 top bass guys have $30,000 to $60,000 now in electronics. Whoo, good Lord. 7,700, 3,000, and we were 1,500. There you go. Got an experiment for you. 2 boats, 1 live scope, 1 not. Give the boat without 30 minutes in a spot. They move and give 30 minutes to the live scope boat. I'm curious to how that would work out. 51.92, 48.92, 48.7. Oh, yeah, you were 0.24 off of the $3,000. There you go. You weren't that far behind on winning it. I believe that was the King Cat event, right? Well, guys, listen, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up tonight, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us another Tuesday night. Screen inches and height above steering column and bow limits because they block the view when underway. Yeah, there is a such thing as too many for safety. Danny, I use maps as much as I can. Again, I'm a bank angler. Tommy, if you need anything before Saturday, holler at me. Let me know. If you need me to grab anything or whatever, I'll be more happy to help you out. And outside of that, man, we'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, y'all. I don't even know how to end.